I'll bet you think you know this story. You don't. The real one's much more gory. The phony one, the one you know, was cooked up years and years ago and made to sound all soft and sappy, just to keep the grown-ups happy. Mind you, they got the first bit right, the bit where, in the dead of night, the ugly sisters, warts and all, departed for the palace ball, and left behind poor Cinderella locked up in a slimy cellar, where rats who wanted things to eat began to nibble at her feet. She bellowed, "Help, and let me out!" A passing fairy heard her shout. Appearing in a puff of light, she said, "My dear, are you all right?" "All right," cried Cindy. "Can't you see? I feel as rotten as can be." She beat her fist against the wall and shouted, "Get me to the ball! There is a party at the palace. The rest have gone and I am jealous. I need a dress, I need a coach, and earrings and a diamond brooch, and silver slippers, 2 of those, and lovely nylon pantyhose. Done up like that, I guarantee the handsome prince would fall for me." The fairy said, "Hang on a tick," and gave her wand a mighty flick. Then, quickly, in no time at all, Cindy was at the palace ball. It made the ugly sisters wince to see her dancing with the prince. Then midnight struck. She shouted, "Heck, I've got to run to save my neck." The prince said, "No, alas, alack," and grabbed her dress to hold her back. Cindy shouted, "Let me go." The dress was ripped from head to toe. She ran off in her underwear and dropped a slipper on the stair. The prince was on it like a dart. He pressed it to his beating heart. "The girl this slipper fits," he cried. "Tomorrow morn shall be my bride. I'll visit every house in town until I've tracked the maiden down." Then, rather foolishly one thinks, he placed it on a tray of drinks. At once one of the ugly sisters, the one whose face was blotched with blisters, sneaked up and grabbed the dainty shoe and quickly flushed it down the loo. And in its place she calmly put the slipper from her own left foot. You see, the plot grows thicker, and Cindy's luck starts looking sicker. The next day, the prince went rushing down to knock on all the doors in town. At every house the tension grew. Who was the owner of the shoe? The shoe was long and very wide. A normal foot got lost inside, and it smelled a tad bit icky. The owner's feet were hot and sticky. Thousands of eager people came to try it on, but all in vain. Then came the ugly sister's go. She slipped it on. The prince cried, "No!" But she said, "Yes, it fits will be. Now you've got to marry me." The prince went white from ear to ear. He muttered, "Get me out of here." "Oh, no, you don't. You've made a vow, and there's no way to back out now." "Off with her head," the prince roared back. They chopped it off with one great whack. This pleased the prince, who smiled and said, "She's prettier now without a head." Then up came sister number 2. She said, "Now I will try the shoe." "Try this instead," the prince roared back. He swung his mighty sword, and whack! Her head went crashing to the ground. It bounced a bit and rolled around. In the kitchen, peeling spuds, Cinderella heard the thuds of bouncing heads upon the floor. She popped her head around the door. "What's all the racket?" Cindy cried. "Mind your own biz," the prince replied. Poor Cindy's heart was torn to shreds. "My prince," she thought, "he chops off heads. How could I marry anyone who does that sort of thing for fun?" The prince replied, "Go take a hike, or I'll pop your head on a spike." Just then, appearing in a flash of light, the magic fairy hove in sight. She flicked her wand, and lo behold, the prince was turned into a toad. "Poor Cindy," she said, "don't look so glum. Come make a wish, my lovesick chum. Wish anything and have no doubt I shall make it come about." Cindy said, "Oh, kind fairy, next time I shall be more wary. No more princes, no more palace. I shall not feel the least bit jealous. All I want's a decent man, but they're hard to find. Do you think you can?" Within a minute, Cinderella was married to a lovely fella, a simple jam maker by trade. He sold good homemade marmalade. Their house was filled with joy and laughter, and they lived happily ever after. She's always doing that.